Hey everyone, it's LS, and this is going to be the first impressions on the new runes that are coming out for Season 8. I'm joined today by Saiph, formerly of Cloud9. He's also another educational content creator / streamer. So we're going to be talking about all the runes, all the mini runes, and then just going through all the tree. Now, I guess Twitch chat is also claiming that some of these maybe aren't completely updated or accurate. Probably still going to be undergoing some PvE stuff, and so maybe there's going to be some changes that occur to it. But again, this is just a first impression. Nothing that I say in this is going to be final. I'm going to take a lot more time to look at these off stream, theorycraft about certain stuff. I'm going to also check out like the numbers and the interaction with certain champions. And then once I've done that, I'll make an official video on the runes for Season 8, much similarly to how I made the Masteries video for Season 7. So let's just get right into it. So Resolve Tree, first one that we're going to be looking at. So the path bonus, Resolve plus any path, 130 flat HP. The entire tree is about durability and crowd control effects. So the first keystone that we're going to talk about is Grasp of the Undying. Noodle Slurp. Every 4 seconds in combat, your next basic attack on an enemy champion will deal bonus magic damage equal to 4% of your maximum health, heal you for 2% of your max health, and permanently increase your health by 5. No chopsticks, ranged champions' damage and healing are halved, and they gain 2 permanent health instead. That seems really good on some champions. I mean, like one of the first immediate things I think about for this is like Tahm Kench. I think of Scion.
I thought of Tahm Kench, Scion, and Gangplank.
Yeah. Okay. What does Gangplank get? Even with the parlay, he gets Q
scales off total AD.
Not even that, but I mean, what bonus does he get for the HP? Does he gets the melee, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, with his bandit.
It's considered a melee proc.
Yeah, so these are all super fantastic. Another champion that obviously I think probably benefits from this are the lesser common champions, like what you have like Garen, Darius, but then again, I don't know enough about the other trees to say for certain that this would be a rune keystone that they would want to pick, but I think that's a pretty interesting keystone. I don't think it's bad. I don't know what else we're going to see in the other 4 trees, but
it's pretty much the current grass, but it's slightly buffed.
Yeah. And I think that's going to have really nice I mean, it's grass plus the flat 130 health is interesting, but I guess that obviously because we got removed the scaling HP, but then again, champions have more HP now, so. I mean, I don't know the exact math on it and how that interacts with some champions and like the new HP ratios that they're getting, or if they only got flat armor. I think Tahm Kench just got flat armor though.
Yeah, Tahm Kench, all the melee supports, Tahm, Braum, and Leona went up 20 armor.
Oh, this is obviously super big for Cho. Although I think that he's not able to proc the passive as often as some of the champions that we just listed. Like I would be pretty hard pressed to believe that he can get a ton of health from this passive. So I don't know. So I'm really curious to see other major keystones. Is there anything else you want to talk about on this one?
Basically, I converted the actual value of it, which is going to be around 12 health per 5, as long as you continuously proc it, not including the 5 health additional. So you're looking at basically 17 health every 5 seconds. From this keystone alone.
Permanent health?
Well, 12 of it, which would be a regen, assuming that 600 HP, not including the 130 base. It's going to be very, very impactful for every champion that scales off his total attack damage, not bonus, which is someone like Gangplank. Cho'Gath has high base damage. Like any high base damage champion will benefit from Grasp more than the other keystones.
Okay, well, let's look at the other keystones, and then I guess we'll recap on the tree before we leave it as well. All right?
Okay.
Aftershock. Call me Quake. After immobilizing an enemy champion, increase your armor and magic resistance by 20 plus 30% for 2.5 seconds, then explode, dealing magic damage to nearby enemies, damage 40 to 140, scaling plus 3.5% of your maximum health, cooldown 20 seconds. How is this not like Galio?
Yeah.
Like, that's Galio.
It's Galio, Jax. It does work on Darius's E. Just hooking him gives you resistance.
That's true. Okay. But I mean, Jax and Darius, do they really want this over some of the other keystones? I mean, I imagine that there would probably be better keystones for them to have than this.
Yeah, you know? there's empowered Thunderlords. It's a 50-second cooldown, and it's ridiculously high. It's 5 times the base damage of Thunderlords. But I was thinking of Rek'Sai with this one. Since his tunnel's around 16-second cooldown, 20-second cooldown for Aftershock, every engage onto a gank, you will get that proc, which I think would be pretty useful.
That proc does seem good. One of my gripes with it would be that it deals magic damage. I mean, that lets Rek'Sai deal hybrid, but if the Rek'Sai has like Black Cleaver or, you know, armor penetration or anything like that, it's obviously going to be a pretty feels bad man moment. Although it's not the end of the world. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely champions that immediately obviously come to mind, such as the Galio that we already talked about. I'm trying to, what other champions like really? I mean, Malphite benefits from this, right? I mean, I don't know the size of the AoE radius.
Anyone that can engage with a shield, Nautilus would be good.
Yep.
Alistar.
Yep. Nautilus, Alistar. I think these all look really, really good for them.
Rakan.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't looked at the other runes. Obviously, you have. But Rakan isn't... Like, obviously, I think this would probably be good for Arcane, but I just don't know if it's completely necessary.
Any type of miniature engage that doesn't have to force, like, a dedicated all-in. Just something that'll let you win the trade through just the shield and the bonus resistances.
I like Sheep's comment in chat, Leona. Leona's obviously super good for this. So, yeah. I mean, not even factoring in, you know, the how tanky she already is, but this is definitely...
Even the E being a 0.25 second.
Yeah.
That'll trigger it.
Okay. Let's move on to Guardian. Guards allies within 175 units of you and your allies target... of you and allies you target with spells for 2.5 seconds. While guarding, if you or the ally take damage, both of you gain a shield and activate haste. What is haste? I guess that's a new... no, it's like the ghosted thing, I guess. Cooldown
just
45
seconds.
Just 20%
movement speed.
Okay. Cooldown 45 seconds. Shield 60 to 150 plus 0.2 AP plus 10% bonus health. Haste 20%. Okay. Guards allies within 175 units of you and allies you target with spells.
I don't like that it has no scaling cooldown.
I don't like that it has no scaling cooldown. That's a really, really big cooldown for the type of champions that would likely benefit. I don't even know what champions would want this to get bonus health and ability power.
I don't even know how to activate it.
Guard
175
allies,
units already is really small, so
it's super small. That's like, you have to be like Karma and sitting on top of them. Like Karma,
it's 1.5 Teemos, literally.
Yeah, that's super small. I don't see how this is realistically ever going to be a good keystone. So sort of like just how you know, at the beginning of seasons and stuff, you can just sort of target a keystone and assume that it's bad. I don't get why this would be good. Oh, I mean, I guess like the little reference that they have here, Braum would be a candidate for it, but still, like, what? You know, even support Tom Kench isn't going to want this. That just doesn't make sense.
I just want to know what activates it. If it's an ability, if you have to apply damage.
God damn it, Saiph, it says it. Guards allies within...
If you or your ally take damage, though, that's really unfortunate. At the same time, if they're going to compare it to like Braum intercepts damage, so at that point, the shield doesn't even help for the AD carry. It's lackluster for engagers because the majority of the engagers, if they engage, you're going to win the fight anyway, which means the shield's not really going to help you.
Yeah,
it's more along the lines of a counter engage.
I just feel like this is a pretty bad keystone overall. Regardless, I think that it is completely dwarfed by Aftershock and Grasp of the Undying. I mean, that's pretty much what I'm thinking. So I don't really have too much more to say on the major keystones. Do you want to just go into the smaller ones now?
Yeah, we can go into strength.
Okay. Strength. So, okay, you choose one of these and then you move on, right? Like, that's the way that these runes work.
Yeah.
Okay. Unflinching. After casting a summoner spell, gain 15% tenacity and slow resistance for 10 seconds. Additionally, gain 10% tenacity and slow resistance for each summoner spell on cooldown.
This one I was, again, thinking more along the lines of counter engage, because if you use your summoner spell, you're more than likely going to be winning that fight regardless. And which opens up to just the ability to add more counterplay through, like, if someone engages, let's say people just start playing Leona more often and they engage onto your AD carry, that exhaust, again, is not going to be that reliable.
So
it's more along the lines of top-centric.
Right, it is more along the lines of top-centric, but you can go up to 35% tenacity, right? So then with Mercury Treads, you can actually go quite high?
Yes, they stack multiplicatively.
So after casting a summoner spell, I mean, what about Aurelia? Aurelia's passive is tenacity as well, right?
She'll be able to obtain like 97% tenacity.
That is really, really gross. Yeah, so okay, she just can't actually be locked down and she's free to do whatever she wants. But then it becomes a question of the keystones, obviously, for her after immobilizing. I mean, I guess Aurelia could actually probably make use of Aftershock a little bit. You know, she stuns you and then, well, for 2.5 seconds, though. Isn't her stun 2 seconds, Equilibrium Strike?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can make use of it for, like, one spell cast.
You'll be able to make use of the shield by then. The enemy's going to be disengaging.
Yeah, exactly.
So you won't be able to make use of the resistance at all, unless it's for minions.
Yeah, or if the team fight is, you know, like you're in the middle of the team fight. That's the only way. But Grasp the Undying, I mean, I don't know exactly how useful this is for Aurelia. I think it depends on other keystones that exist. But Unflinching, I mean, that's something that obviously stands out. I can't see... I mean, Singed would like this, right? If he TPs into a fight and then flashes.
We're just activating a ghost will give you that tenacity.
Yeah, but I mean, he's gonna run flash teleport top lane, right? And I'm thinking of competitive, by the way. I'm not thinking of like.
Oh, okay. Yeah, never mind.
I'm not thinking of the Ghost Ignite and Gold, you know, with 1,400 games on Singed. But all right, let's move on a little bit. Obviously, like something here. Other champions that we talked about earlier on, like Galio and stuff, they're not really gonna like this all that much. So I don't think it's that important. Let's move on to Demolish. Falcon Punch. Charge up a powerful attack against a tower over 4 seconds within 600 range of it. Charge attack deals 125 plus 30% of your maximum health. Bonus physical damage.
If this was true damage, I would like it.
Yeah.
Because with towers having so much armor already and no support or tank will ever take any hybrid pen or armor pen, it means it says it's going to do 125, but in reality it's like 70.
Yes. Bonus physical damage. I mean, I can see this on some champions, right? Like, let's talk about, let's come back to Demolish.
Galio would make use of it because his passive or whatever procs on towers.
That's true. His passive does proc on towers, and he does get a lot of HP. I'm just thinking, like, if Cho'Gath had 2 Mountain Drakes and hit a turret with, like, 7,000 HP or something... I mean, you can also turn on Stoneborn Plate, right? And then just charge at the tower and auto it?
Still reduces your damage by 60%.
Oh, and that would... Yeah, okay. Yeah, you would need Mountain... No, yeah. Forgetting about the second active right there. Okay, I mean, it's an interesting summoner spell. Let's look at Font of Life, okay. Tag, impair the movement of an enemy champion Impairing the movement of an enemy champion marks them for 4 seconds. Ally champions who attack the marked target heal for 5 plus 1% of your max health over 2 seconds. So, if Tom Kench has the Grasp of the Undying, and then he has Font of Life, I mean, it's like the old Grasp meets Bond of Stone. Mm-hmm. So he's actually getting the best of both worlds. So already, like, just immediately coming off the top of my head, that looks like the path that he takes in the Resolve tree. Impairing the movement of an enemy champ, marks them, etc. I mean, there's going to obviously be supports that like this. Feels like Galio could like this, right? So like Flash Taunt.
Braum, I think, would be really good. Yeah, Braum's slow, last 2 seconds.
Yep. Braum would definitely like this. Galio, Tom Kench, support Morgana. I guess, you know, like, I mean, there's going to be a lot of champions that can definitely make use of this. It just matters how much do they make use of the follow-up keystones and stuff. Yeah, let's come back to Demolish after. Let's move on to Resistance. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Resistances. Iron Skin. It's free. Gain +5 armor. Liquid Courage. Heal effects from consumables heal for 20 plus health, and shields increase your armor by 5%. And shields increase your armor by 5% for 3 seconds. I mean...
I didn't like any of these.
Yeah, I think that's terrible. Mirror Shell, okay, it's free, gain 5 magic resist, heal effects from consumable. Okay, it's the same thing except for magic resist. So this just looks like it's a flex depending on what team comp you're up against, if you're already making use of the major keystone and then something in strength. Conditioning.
Well, I'd say conditioning because conditioning is infinitely better than both of them.
After 10 minutes, gain +8 armor and +8 magic resist and increase your armor and magic. Okay, why would you ever get the other ones? What?
Yeah. The other ones at best will give you 1.5% reduction to that type.
There's literally no reason to not take conditioning.
Yeah.
If you need the Biscuit Mastery thing or whatever it was called, you know, that converted Secret Sash. Right?
Yeah.
If you need that to get out of lane with some of these new changes and stuff, then I think that you have bigger problems. I can't imagine why you would ever take conditioning. I think we can actually just move on to Vitality.
Yeah. I don't like any of these. I was very disappointed.
I mean, conditioning is okay.
Conditioning is okay, but later on into the game, that's the only time that's ever going to be useful. Yeah. And even then, once you reach that 100 point, it's already 50% reduction.
Yep. Okay. Vitality. Okay, Overgrowth. Permanently gains 0.2% maximum health for every 8 monsters or enemy minions that die near you.
And I did the math for this already. 48 maximum HP every 4 waves. It's essentially doubling your health per 5.
Okay, that's pretty big, especially for champions that deal percentage max HP abilities. So obviously that's really, really good. This is huge on Sion. I mean, Sion already has like 3 clear-cut keystones and mini keystones, etc. Available to him. Cho'Gath as well.
I really like it on fast clears. Anyone that can just clear wave like quickly, Galio, Shyvana, if late game scaling Jax will benefit from this a lot because he can on demand take whatever jungle he wants.
Okay. Revitalize energy drink. Heals and shields are 5% stronger and increased by an additional 10% on targets below 40% health.
Did the math on this one too. It sucks.
Does it? Okay.
Never. Even on Soraka and Rakan, the 2 champions that can simultaneously heal themselves and someone else, at most 20 more health.
That's pretty weak. Increased by so isn't it 15% though? If Soraka's healing for 300 and she gives you 15% and she casts it like 6 times, I mean that equates to something.
It'll add up.
It'll add up, yeah. But Soraka's not getting any of these other keystones anyway, so I don't know.
But at best, that is just for Soraka.
Right. Yeah, that's actually true. Okay. Yeah, that doesn't really. I don't seem to fancy that one too much. Second wind.
We needed to add scaling to a lot of these.
Well, I mean, they're still in the infant stages, right? There's nothing to prevent Riot from tweaking them and adjusting them. I assume that they'll do that similarly to how they did everything when Keystones first came out. What season was that? Season 6, right?
Yeah, it was 6.
Yeah, okay. Second wind. Okay, after taking damage from an enemy champion, heal for 4% of your missing health plus 6 over 10 seconds. They took Spectre's Cowl, basically, and put it into an item?
Yeah. It is busted.
Yeah, that's busted. Of course that's busted.
It is 15 health per 5. And at every point in time, if you're using Soraka, for example, if you auto-attack somebody, you get 30 health back over time. Then your Q also applies healing. And even if they don't auto-attack you, you'll still win the trade. It's an automatic trade winner if you have some sort of self-sustain built into your champion.
Yeah. This is obviously really big. This makes it actually a little bit more difficult to assess, this third keystone thing between Overgrowth and Second Wind on some champions. Obviously, I want to look into more of how this would interact with some champions, but I do feel like Overgrowth and Second Wind are the clear winners here, and then in Resistance, Conditioning is probably always just going to be the keystone. That's just sort of like, when you're running down a mastery tree or something, there's just an obvious clear-cut choice that you have to take. And I guess that's what it is. Strength, I think Demolish is super situational. Unflinching is hyper unique to certain champions. That's completely fine. Fawn of Life, also similar. So I think that all 3 are probably viable. It just depends on what champions are you going to use them on. And then obviously the keystones, I think, are all Super interesting, with the exception of Guardian. I think it's pretty bad. So Guardian and the entire resistance tree, with the exception of conditioning, just seem like really, really trash. But yeah, I guess we can move on to the other keystones now.
Domination.
Yep, dominate. This is what I like. This is what excites me. Okay, path bonus. 11 attack, or domination plus any path. 11 attack damage or 18 ability power. Adaptive. What is adaptive?
It means if your champion scales specifically off AP, you will get AP for this. If you scale off AD, like if you're playing Jhin, you will get 11 AD for this.
So what happens for Teemo and Akali?
I have no idea. I wanted to know that too. I want to find out what happens if you get 10 AD and 10 AP.
I mean,
level 1.
Yeah, there's a lot of champions that can benefit from both. I mean, what happens to Katarina here? What happens to Akali? What happens to
I think
Teemo?
it's whichever one gets... I think
whichever
they'll probably
one gets
swap
more?
in-game.
Yeah, okay, whichever one gets more. Okay.
Whichever you elect to build into.
So this looks like it's probably going to be the ferocity tree, or the equivalency. So let's look at it. Electrocute. Hitting a champion with 3 separate attacks or abilities within 3 seconds deals bonus adaptive damage. Damage 50 to 220 based on level, plus 0.5% bonus AD. 3 separate attacks within... Alright, so Jhin actually can't proc it. It's not possible for Jhin to proc this. Attacks or abilities.
Yes. 3 consecutive auto attacks will also
Q
proc this.
Auto Q auto? Can Jhin actually fire that quick?
Probably not. But considering that it's going to be Jhin, he'll have a support. Support will be able to enable him to proc this.
Wait, how does the support enable him? I don't understand.
If Alistar combos guarantee second proc. If Nami E's Jhin, Jhin will get another consecutive auto attack through a built-in slow.
That's not what I'm talking about. I mean, can Jhin actually auto and then throw the grenade and then auto within 3 seconds?
Unlikely.
You can auto QW. I mean, yeah, you can auto QW, but I mean that's not as consistent.
And that's a huge dump in mana.
Yeah, that's a very big dump in mana. Now, I think that they're trying to say this is for Jhin because they say 4. I don't know. He can definitely auto Q auto in 3 seconds if the opponent's running. Twitch chat saying that he can definitely auto Q auto in 3 seconds. I mean, if he can, this is gigantic for him. The bonus AD, but this doesn't have a cooldown. Am I understanding this right?
It has a cooldown 50 to 25 seconds.
50 to okay, it doesn't say that here. 50 to 20. Okay. So it has some scaling. Obviously, there's a lot of champions that will like this a lot. This is kind of... Akali loves this, right? Electrocute.
Akali, Fiora, Kennen,
yep.
Darius, Jax.
Yep, they all love that. Wow. Teemo? It says 3 separate attacks. So auto E plus Q. I mean, that's a really easy way to proc it. Bonus AD plus flat, 0.3 AP. I mean, that's interesting. I think that's definitely something that probably needs to be looked into. Now, when it says separate attacks, does that mean Caitlyn can't just auto your face for 3 attacks?
No, you can.
You can?
You can.
Okay.
3 consecutive auto attacks. I tested this earlier today. All you have to do is auto attack 3 times. The issue is it's a 50-second cooldown.
But doesn't it scale to 25 seconds?
It does. Late game, it'll scale down to 25.
Okay. 220 plus 0.3 AP. I mean, the other thing, does Syndra's orbs count as unique? So does she just ult and get it?
They instantly proc Thunderlords, yeah. Each orb is its own separate proc for that. So it would definitely... I mean, I'm assuming they transferred the Thunderlord's formula to this.
A free 400... Syndra gets a free 400, 500 damage on her ult.
This is that empowered Thunderlords I was talking about.
She pressed star. Is that what you're telling me, Saiph? She pressed star?
Pretty sure, yeah.
I don't think Thunderlords did this much damage. It didn't, right?
No, I said this is 5 times the strength of Thunderlords.
Yeah, okay. I don't know why people are in Twitch chat are just saying Thunderlords is renamed. Okay, well that's interesting.
Thunderlords, it has the same scaling. Thunderlords was 10 per level. up to 180 or 190, something like that.
Okay.
It's the early game, the level 3 and 4 and 5 that really matters, because 50 base damage at level 3 is insane.
Yeah, it is. That's enormous. That's way too big.
Half of your ignite right there.
Yeah. All right. Pretty nice keystone. All right, let's take a look at Predator. Enchants your boots with the active effect Predator. Predator to channel for 1.5 seconds out of combat to gain 45% movement speed for 15 seconds. Damaging attacks or abilities end this effect, dealing 60 to 140 plus 0.4 bonus AD plus 0.25 AP bonus adaptive damage. So I guess whichever one's higher. Trying to use the active Predator to channel for 1 point. So your boot has an active? Yeah, active effect. So you turn on Yumu's for 15 seconds, and then you just run up to a champion and hit them?
Yes. The issue is the cooldown.
Oh,
it starts the game on cooldown, so you don't get to use it until 3 minutes.
Okay. Obviously, this is really good for chasing people down, you know? 0.4 bonus AD is nothing to scoff at by any means. So for like certain junglers, like obviously, yeah, Kha'Zix, Rengar.
It's all about that. I mean, I think it's a jungle.
Rengar would like Electrocute more than Predator, because Rengar already has his R to get on top of someone. You know, Rengar doesn't need
Rengar
Predator.
Usually go for the snare.
Right. Rengar doesn't actually need this. You know, Electrocute, Elise, Rexar or Rengar is going to go for Electrocute. Kha'Zix is going to be going for Predator, for sure. I wonder that, like, does Graves go with Predator? I mean, I don't know what Dark Harvest is, but
you are allowed to move during this channel.
Yeah, right. So I mean, this is all like super interesting. Obviously, it's a very big cooldown. 0.4 bonus AD on Graves is obviously going to be quite nice. But yeah, I mean, there's immediately some champions that are just coming to mind that I think can definitely make good use of this. So far, I mean, in this tree, the Domination tree, I'm already liking both of the keystones. So let's take a look at Dark Harvest, I guess. Champions, large minions, and large monsters drop Soul Essence on death. Collect souls to become soul charged. Your next attack on a champion or structure consumes soul charges to deal bonus attack to... I don't know what that is. It's just an advertisement.
It is very bad keystone.
Is it? Soul charged bonus. Your next attack on a champion or structure consumes soul consumes.
You have to re-establish the charging every single time.
How much souls do they drop? 2?
6 for
terrible.
Champions. I know, 2 for monsters, 4 for minions. You will not get a fully charged one until well into late game. Mid to late game is when I calculated it out.
So basically, I'm just gonna wait for the moment where there's a Master Yi player that just endlessly farms his jungle, right? And then some reason at 30 minutes, even though he's like 0-6-0, he's gonna be like, now it's my time. He's gonna come out of the jungle. And he's just gonna alpha strike on someone. But like, I mean, it just seems like it's so bad. It's so gimmicky. This is like the Timmy runestone that, you know, Riot's putting in for like the people that just AFK farm in the jungle.
Some of them are saying you don't lose stacks.
I mean, it says it consumes them. I would assume that means... I mean, it says you consume them, but Twitch chat's saying that you don't lose souls. If you don't lose souls, this is different. That's actually different.
If you don't lose souls, then it comes down to the cooldown.
It comes down to the... What's the cooldown? 20 seconds. Increase to 300 seconds? After collecting 150 soul essence. So 150 soul essence, I mean, obviously, yeah, that's going to take...
a long time.
Yeah, that's going to take a long time, so you're looking at a super late game thing. But, I mean, if that's actually the case, then champions like Shyvana, you know, champions that can power farm the jungle... I mean, let's think about it. Does Nidalee want Electrocute, right? Hitting a champion 3 separate attacks or ability. I mean, yeah, she can proc it pretty easily, right? Predator, enchants...
Guaranteed every time.
Yeah, it's guaranteed every time that she can proc Electrocute. Predator, enchants your boots with the active effect Predator. You know, I mean, yeah, Nidalee could use that. She definitely could use Predator. But then Dark Harvest would actually let her go into this like alternative style where how many junglers can actually keep up with Nidalee in the jungle in terms of farming?
Kayn.
Huh?
Kayn, I think.
Kayn. Okay, so Kayn.
I think Kayn's the only one that can compete with Nidalee.
Kayn is actually such a terrible champion, by the way, in the early game that he might just have to like suck it up and take it and like.
He does. He sucks early because they gave him straight up bonus AD scaling, so he has to come out ahead or he's significantly further behind relative to the opposing jungler.
Yeah, so I think that Kayn would actually be someone that just bites the bullet on Dark Harvest. He probably is, right? Like, I'm not seeing, like, obviously, yes, Electrocute, he really likes it, especially if he's Shadow Kayn. Predator, Rost is definitely going to like Predator, probably a little bit more. I mean, Dark Harvest just seems like it's probably really good on him. He already sucks anyway, so if you coordinate a gank with him, they're likely dying anyway. You know what I mean? I don't think that you really need the Electrocute with the Predator.
They should have went in more detail with Dark Harvest.
Yeah.
What happens after the 20 seconds? Do you have to refarm souls?
I think you have to probably collect a soul, and then it becomes active again. But I mean, it goes up to 300 seconds after collecting 150. That is going to be a really long time.
It does force you to, right after you get it, you should immediately look for a gank as soon as possible, which puts a lot of emphasis on laners knowing how to not push the lane for 5 seconds.
One of the things I like though is like, I mean, you can get Scuttle Crab stuff and then large minions, so you can go and get like you can actually root in a way that lets you arrive at a lane when a cannon's gonna die. And that's pretty big.
But at the same time, if you look at max damage Dark Harvest, which is 80, and it's half the scaling of
Plus Soul Essence though. Plus Soul Essence. But no, you're right.
Soul Essence.
It is half. It's half the scaling of Electrocute, and let's say that. I mean, I just don't know how reasonable it is to have like 200 Soul Essence. Even if you have 200 Soul Essence, I mean, it's barely getting up there with Electrocute.
Even then, you still have a 0.25 bonus AD.
Right.
You would want to. It would be considerable. Well, considering the champion you're playing, like if you are playing an AP champion, it might be better to take Dark Harvest because you're missing out on the 0.25 bonus AD scaling.
Mm-hmm. That's true as well. I mean, okay, there's definitely going to be merit probably to this. It might even end up getting buffed. I don't know.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so probably as well. You know, or we could just be completely wrong, and it could be just completely broken Keystone or something, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I mean, it really just depends. Like, realistically, how often can you collect 150? That seems like a really far stretch to get to it, to get the 300-second thing. I mean, the 20-second thing isn't the end of the world. It's just, you know, you have to coordinate a gank after immediately clearing a camp, but this lets people play around you having Dark Harvest a lot easier as they just ward the camps, because then you can't possibly reach them with it up. But I don't know. I mean, Kayn's still going to be able to reach it. Let's go into Malice. So, Cheap Shot, Bully. Damaging champions with impaired movement or actions deal 12 to 30 bonus true damage based on level.
Really overpowered. I've already tested this.
Okay. 4-second cooldown activates on damage occurring after the impairment. Okay. I mean, that's definitely really broken. I mean, it's good for Jax.
I use this on Kalista. As you're pressing your E and auto-attacking a champion, you get your E reset, and then the auto will get a slow, and then your rend will apply, and it's a guaranteed cheap shot every time.
Yeah, so, okay. I mean, that's a pretty good cheap shot. Obviously, Aurelia can use this. Jax can use it. Impaired move. Oh, my God. I mean, Tom Kench can use it. I mean, there's so many champions that can use cheap shot. I really like how it looks. You know, I have no...
Ash permanently can use it.
Ash can permanently use it, so maybe this helps propel Ash. Jhin cannot probably do it often enough unless he, you know, like his teammates have a lot of CC in their kit. But even then, like, why? I mean, I'm gonna assume there's something else here for Jhin if he goes into the domination tree. Okay, let's take a look at Tasted Blood. Heal when you damage an enemy champion. Transfusion heals 18 to 35 plus 0.2 bonus AD plus 0.1 AP health based on level.
This was Riot's answer to Cheap Shot. It is approximately 4.5 health per 5, which if you look at Cheap Shot, it's 12 health per 5 basically, assuming that you can consistently proc that cooldown.
Yeah.
I think Taste of Blood was strictly put in just for an answer to Cheap Shot for the people who can't utilize it.
Yep. Taste of Blood actually looks Taste of Blood even looks to be like it's going to be a much more common.
It's also a 20-second cooldown.
20-second cooldown. Okay, it's not saying that here. 20-second cooldown versus the 4-second. But even still, I mean, the heal is going to be really big. This looks like it's a fusion of Warlords, you know, getting the heal off, but obviously you don't have the MS, but I don't think that's going to matter all that much. I mean, the 18 is really big at level 1. That's actually super big. You're actually getting fresh or feast, right, on every auto. Like every 20 seconds, you're essentially getting feast. You're getting the old feast. So that they've combined like Warlords and like a mini feast. So I think that's good. Sudden impact. I was hiding. After exiting stealth or using a dash, leap, blink, or teleport, dealing any damage to a champion grants you 10 lethality and 8 magic penetration for 5 seconds.
It's very, very strong.
Yeah, it does look like it's actually very strong. Blink or teleport. I mean, does Kayn proc this? I mean, obviously Rengar does. Kha'Zix loves this.
Callista permanently keeps this activated throughout all of the game.
Oh, her thing is... that's right, actually. That's actually...
It's a dash. Same with Fiora. So Fiora can keep it activated throughout the whole game.
Yeah, but, I mean, Fiora... I guess she doesn't have anything else except for maybe Taste of Blood.
Riven.
Riven.
Blanc.
Yep. These champions can do that for sure. After exit... I mean, Akali benefits a ton, right? 10 lethality and 8 magic pen?
No.
What do you mean?
Oh, wait, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the vast majority of Akali's damage now is magic, isn't it? Isn't her E the only one that's physical?
This isn't adaptive, so... I mean, it still helps her.
Yeah, around 2% bonus damage.
A leap is Fizz's Playful Trickster, right?
Yep.
Okay, so, I mean, that's disgusting. Like, that's really, really, really big for Fizz. Like, that is so big for Fizz.
It opens up a lot of all-in potential. Every time his E is up, he can get it.
Yep. All right, so that's obviously a nice, good Fizz keystone. All right, let's move on to tracking. Okay, you may choose one of the... All right, yep. Zombie ward. That's kind of cute. After killing a ward, a friendly zombie ward is raised in its place. Additionally, when your wards expire, they reanimate as zombie wards. Zombie wards are visible, last for 180 seconds, and don't count towards your ward limit. Okay. All right, so I'm going to assume that these are like the supportive mini keystones now for this tree. Let me just actually read them all really quick. Ghost Poro. Enter a brush to summon a Poro after a brief channel. The Poro will stay behind you to give you vision until you summon a new one. How long does it last? Do you know? If an enemy enters a brush with a Poro in it, they scare it away. Oh, so it stays in the brush.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's sort of like a permanent ward. It's like a control ward, I guess?
If at any point you walk into another bush and you stand still for half a second, the new Poro will pop up and it'll replace the other one.
Okay. That's actually really, really nice. That sort of reminds me of like Spider-Mines. Yeah.
About 200 range vision.
Oh, so it's like a blue trinket.
It's like a Teemo shroom vision.
Okay. I mean, it's still kind of good.
It's good for tri-bush.
Yes.
It is a tri-bush ward.
It's a really good ward for tri-brush. Yeah, it's a really good ward for tri-brush. I mean, it's also good to be placed inside of blue brushes, Baron brush. You know, I mean, it's going to have some value there. Port channel is interrupted if you enter combat with a champion. Okay. Eyeball collection. Collect eyeballs for champion and ward takedowns. Gain an adaptive bonus of 0.6 attack damage and 1 ability power per eyeball collected.
This stacks to 20.
So it only stacks to 20. Okay, well, that doesn't make it sound that good. It feels to me like Zombie Ward and Ghost Poro are probably going to be the best, but for champions that just don't want to do either, so most notably like 80 carries or something, I guess they get eyeball collection. Jhin can make use of eyeball collection.
Lower elo, you would most likely always take eyeball.
Yeah, and lower elo.
Poro.
Yeah, because people don't have mini-maps down there anyway, but eyeball collection, I mean, Jhin really likes that, right? Because he has an ability power ratio.
No, it's ore.
Oh, it's ore?
Yep.
Oh,
adaptive.
So it's adaptive. It just doesn't say adaptive. All right. Oh, it does say adaptive. I'm an idiot. Gain an adaptive bonus. Okay. I mean, but yeah, 80 carriers are going to take this over the alternatives, right? The only thing I could see an ADC taking, maybe in some instances, is Zombie Ward. I can't see them taking Ghost Poro. It just doesn't have any benefit for them, like almost at any stage of the game. So I feel like ADCs are always going to take Zombie Ward or Eyeball.
The issue is that the Eyeball works on Zombie Ward. So at the same time, you're giving someone damage for your vision.
That's true. Yeah. You're giving them actually extra, right? Because your ward dies and... Okay, well, that's unfortunate. Okay. So let's move on to Hunter. Okay, Ravenous Hunter. Heal for a percentage of the damage dealt by your abilities. Okay. More blood. Heals for 2.5 plus 2.5% per bounty hunter stack.
You get a bounty hunter stack for every unique champion kill. It's really strong.
That's definitely strong. Unlike Rengar, Kha'Zix,
Cassiopeia.
Healing reduced to 1/3 for area of effect abilities. Yeah, Cassiopeia, obviously going to benefit from this a lot. I mean, this is obviously a really, really strong ability. I like the change that they took with it. This is a lot better than the old Bounty Hunter. Okay, let's look at Ingenious Hunter. Gain 10% active item CDR plus an additional 6% per bounty hunter stack, includes trinkets. So you can get 40% active item CDR. I don't think that's valuable enough. Unless we're talking about like a support is going into this tree, but I don't know why a support. I mean, supports do probably want to come into this tree sometimes, right? Zombie Ward.
The only other champion I could think of that would benefit a lot from it is the Proto Belt, like engages Kennen would benefit a lot from it.
AP Kennen, yep. AP Kennen can benefit. What else am I?
There's just not many people that can get mass amounts of assists. People
in Twitch chat don't understand that you don't get to use Zhonya's twice in a team fight, regardless of how much CDR you're going to put on it. Zhonya's doesn't matter. Literally just holds no relevancy.
Gone from 90 to like a 60-second cooldown.
Yeah, it doesn't
really
matter.
Helpful.
It's not helpful, right? So we're looking at primarily just like Proto Belt, and you're looking at like supports that want to have their stuff up a little bit more frequently. But okay, that's pretty good. Relentless Hunter. Okay. Relentless Hunter, gain 8 out of combat movement speed plus 8 per bounty hunter. That's nice. Kind of. Like, I just don't see a reason though why you would take anything but Ravenous in most cases. But I mean I guess you can get 2 boots for free. 48 flat movement speed is nothing to scoff at. I think it really depends on who you're playing. But, I mean, Ravenous Hydra looks like the clear-cut choice.
Yeah, I was thinking of Camille with Ravenous Hunter, just for the true damage kickflip.
Yep. Yep.
It does 600 to 700 true damage.
Okay, so let's recap. So Ravenous Hunter looks like the clear victor here. Ingenious seems quite bad, except maybe on very select champions. Eyeball Collector and Zombie Ward. Ghost Poro is going to be for junglers and top laners, most importantly. Malice, Cheap Shot. Cheap Shot's really good. Taste of Blood is really good. Sudden Impact really good on very situational champions. Obviously Teemo, he can use a brush or whatever, so we got that going. Now, exiting stealth, yeah, that doesn't mean just exiting a brush, but obviously Teemo goes stealth when he's in a brush. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. Cossadin gets permanent benefit from. This is actually something.
Every engage he wants.
Yeah, every engage he gets permanent lethality and magic penetration, which obviously he loves because he has hybrid damage going on because of his auto attacks. So I mean that's really good for him. I don't think Cossadin would be taking any of the other ones, so this is like a Cossadin thing. And obviously recapping on the Keystone, Dark Harvest. I want to see more for it. Predator, good. Electrocute, really good. Anything else that you want to talk about for the Domination tree?
No. Pretty much got everything down.
Okay. Okay, so let's move on to Precision. Okay, Become a Legend. Precision about improved basic attacks and sustained damage. Path bonus, plus 18% attack speed. Alright. Keystone. Press the attack. Hitting an enemy champion with 3 consecutive basic attacks deals 30 to 120 bonus adaptive damage based on level and makes them vulnerable, increasing the damage they take by 12% from all sources for 6 seconds. So what's the cooldown on the 3 consecutive basic attacks?
There's no cooldown on this one.
So Caitlyn, Tristana, Varus, Kog'Maw, like, they all benefit from this. And obviously it gives them Vladimir's ultimate, right? The amplified damage.
It's one of the strongest keystones in the game.
Okay, so that sounds nice. Let's move on to the next one. Lethal Tempo. 1.5 seconds after damaging a champion, gain 30 to 80% bonus attack speed based on level for 3 seconds. Attacking champion extends the effect to 6 seconds. Cooldown 10 seconds.
Not that valuable.
Well, listen, okay? Scripps would like to have a word with you, okay? So for Scripps, Lethal Tempo is exactly what they need to bring back their Kog'Maw and propel them. Unfortunately, Scripts don't work on Korea anymore, but you guys are in
Best case scenario, though, 3.7 max attack speed. It's the most you can obtain.
Wasn't the old thing just 4?
The old Kog'Maw,
was it
the old reworked Kog'Maw, doubled his attack speed. It gave him
it went to 5?
100+%. It went to 5.0 maximum.
And this only goes to 3.7?
If you go 6 Gnasher's Tooth, you will get 3.7% attack speed.
That's terrible then. I appreciate that you already did the math on that then. So okay, maybe not. Maybe this is just a pretty bad...
On Jinx's minigun, which I think is like 140 or 110%.
Even still, like,
she can get pretty close.
Yeah, she can get close, but I mean, I don't think there's a reason not to just amplify the damage of your teammates.
Exactly.
So press the attack is just really good. Fleet Footwork. Attacking and moving builds energy stacks. At 100 stacks, your next attack is energized, okay? Energized attack kills you for 5 plus 50, 0.10 bonus AD, and 0.2 AP, and grant 30%. Okay, so it's actually Warlords. That's it.
It is a buff to Warlords. It's weaker to champion, but it's buffed to minions.
Okay. Alright, I mean, press the attack is just too good. I can't imagine not taking press the attack.
The only champion I thought Lethal Tempo would be okay with was Caitlyn. And that's only because she has already relatively low damage, and she benefits more from getting that extra 50 on the auto attack.
Yep. And generating her passive and all that good jazz with her range. Okay, Fleet of Footwork. I mean, I can't see this being taken over press the attack. At least not in its current state.
You're not gonna... Well, you're gonna agree with this even more once we go into the next masteries. There's built-in lifesteal for 80 carries.
Okay. Alright, let's go into it. Heroism, Overheal. Excessive healing on you becomes a shield for up to 10% of your total health plus 10. Wait a minute. So, if for some reason Tom Kench or Mundo or Cho'Gath or something in here goes into the precision tree with the resolve tree, they get a free 400-500 shield? And then Malphite, to top this even further, Malphite gets another shield? Am I like understanding this right? Shield is built up from 30% of excessive healing or 300%. Okay. Are you there? Are you with me still?
Yeah, I was thinking of what you were saying there. I was thinking of Relic Shield users would benefit from this a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Relic Shield users... Go ahead.
Just having, like, the Relic Shield 80 carries. Like, the Kog'Maws, Tristanas, when they take Relic, this would benefit both them and the support. So if you have a kill lane, this would be really useful in just engages or in trade-centric 2v2s. So it's 300% excess healing from ally. So whatever your Relic Shield heals you, 300% times that is how much you would actually gain out of the heal.
Yeah.
Or the overheal.
All right, but what about the other map? I mean, there's still 2 more major Keystone pages to go to. And so far, I only really saw one that helps out supports dramatically. So I assume that we're probably going to get to that. Overheal obviously does look really good. Triumphant. Takedowns restore 15% of your missing health and grant an additional 25 gold. So this is like a super dangerous game, but 15% of your missing health. That just feels...
Dangerous game was also missing, though.
Was it missing? I thought it was max.
No, it's missing.
You know what? I'm a coach. Okay? Just thought I'd throw that out
so
there, by the
am
way. I'm just throwing that out there, by the way. Okay? I'm a coach, by the way. Anyways, okay, that just feels bad. I mean, I don't know what you think. I think that's just bad. Do you feel like it's bad, or do you think it actually has merit?
I think it's lackluster. I would have liked to see a percentile of the gold value for that champion. So if you get a shutdown on someone, maybe have it like 10% of the total value. So instead of the 25, it could be 50 on someone that's 5-0. That's when I think it would be okay to take. Given 10% of 300, the 30 gold is still more than 25.
Right.
This is not going to be noticeable ever.
Yeah, I think this keystone needs to be tweaked. Something needs to be done to it. You know, I mean, it has like a terrible. I mean, yeah, the 25 gold is not useful enough, and I mean, dangerous game. Even the longer that League existed and the keystones existed, more and more people were either taking Green Fathers or Bandit. It's not to say that dangerous game wasn't taken, but it was mostly with champions that just couldn't take something else. So yeah, Presence of Mind, unlimited power for 5 seconds after gaining a level or takedown. Any mana you spend is fully restored. It's too gimmicky. I mean, it would force you to really time your all-ins. Like Rise could do this. Rise, Cassio, they can make use of it. No.
If you land the E, you're guaranteed to make a solid opener.
For 5 seconds after gaining a level, yeah, but it's just not valuable enough at that stage. I feel like Rise and Cassio and who else with mana like all-ins. Who else is going to use like mana all-ins after leveling up? Talia, I guess. I mean, Syndra, in a way,
Any champion that can stay consistently in the fight. I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, they can stay consistently.
Champion that can go back in.
Right.
And stay in.
They time their level up and they go all in with it. But like the problem is Syndra. I mean, oh yeah, that's right. You don't use any of the major keystones, so you would take Domination and then you would come into this tree. I mean, Presence of Mind. I mean, it immediately speaks to me as Rise. Like, Rise is about to level up and he just goes to all in you. It makes it that much more important to keep track of the enemy laner's CS. I mean, that's some caveman shit, by the way. I'm just like throwing that out there. It's going to be important to keep track of the enemy laner's CS, at least before the first recall. You know what I mean? Because then you're able to always keep track of when are they waiting on a level up. And obviously that's only going to be applicable to some matchups. I like what you just said, Jace. I mean, I understand it's some caveman shit, but I think this is pretty good. Obviously, another champion that could make use of this to further propel his laning phase is Kassadin. Kassadin could definitely do this.
I could see in a team fight, if you just get that,
even in laning phase, it lets him actually poke you.
Yeah, even in a team fight, it's something to be very aware of. If Kassadin gets a kill, then he can keep going for 5 seconds.
Yes.
That's 2 more Rs.
Yeah, he can get 2 Rs off for free. He can get 2 4-stack Rs off for free.
But I wonder
if Rise doesn't
still need the mana.
Huh?
I wonder if you still need the mana.
You still need the mana if you don't have Morellonomicon.
No, I'm not saying like a mana build. I'm just saying if you have 800 mana but your R costs 1,000, can you still use it?
Any
Even
mana
though it's
you
fully
spend.
restored.
It says any mana you spend. So I'm assuming that you have to be able to spend it first and then you get replenished.
I wonder if it interacts well with tier. If tier would then give you 15% of that cost for that spell.
I mean, that's interesting. I mean, that's something that someone can playtest, which, by the way, I don't do that stuff, okay? I don't end up on the PB. I don't do all this good jazz. So already, I mean, there's definitely a lot of champions that are coming into my head for Presence of Mind. Ones that would benefit more from it than Overheal or Triumph from this particular tree. So let's move on to Legend. Well, okay. So now we're going old school with the boots. Okay. Is this making you feel nostalgic? No. Right.
I like the higher values overall.
All right.
Stat value.
You gotta go fast. Wait a minute. Isn't that a meme? Wait a minute.
Sanic.
Is Riot embracing? Huh?
Sonic.
Did you say Sanic?
Sonic. Yeah, Sonic. That's a meme. You've never seen the Sonic meme?
No.
Oh my god. Here, I'll link it in chat.
No, I don't want to see it right now. We gotta do this for you. In 3% attack speed plus an additional 1.5% for every legend stack, max 10 stacks. In additional, 3% attack speed plus an additional 1.5 for every legend. Earn progress towards legend attacks for every champion takedown, epic monster takedown, does it cap?
Yes, max 10 stacks.
I'm sorry. Oh my god, I can't even read. Okay.
I'll have a 10 stack max.
This just feels gimmicky.
It's lackluster. without a champion having a high base attack speed, something like Draven or Twitch, you would never see this picked up on like any other AD carry.
What about Mastery E?
Who plays
him? Good point. Nice save. Nice save. Nice save, Saiph. Nice save. All right, Legend Tenacity. Gave 5% Tenacity plus an additional 1.5 for every Legend stack. This is obviously great for Aurelia. Super good for Aurelia, super good for Singed.
It stacks additively, by the way.
Okay. So, I mean, I think that's a really nice little mini thing for them. Bloodline gains 0.8% lifesteal for every Legend stack. Earn progress toward... Okay, what? I mean, it's not busted. 8% lifesteal? That's not, like, super big, but I mean, if Jin's going into this tree, he's not getting Tenacity, he's not getting this. He's not getting... I mean...
Well, Jin wouldn't go into this tree. He would gain the 18% attack speed. That's irrelevant at that point. I think Jin is going to be more...
Wait, doesn't it get... It modifies his damage, doesn't it?
Slightly.
Jin's probably actually just going to go into Domination.
I think it's 25 or 15% attack speed, something like that for 2.5% more AD.
Yeah, so Jin would probably just go into Domination.
I think he would go into Sorcery.
Though. Wait, oh, okay, well, I haven't got there yet, so thank you for spoiling me. Okay. Alright, so wait, combat? There's only one? Is this like
I was told it's a bug. I don't know.
Deal 10% more damage to champions who have less than 40%. Oh, okay, so it's merciless. Did someone say pentakill? Additionally, takedowns on champions grant an adaptive bonus of 9 attack damage or 15 ability power for 10 seconds. Does it stack? Does that keep stacking?
Probably a refresh duration since it lasts 10 seconds.
Alright, 15 ability power.
I think they would make that stack for 10.
I mean, the 15 AP is really big for early and mid-game dragon fights and stuff. And like sieges, but outside of that, that just seems like it's negligible almost.
Yeah, it's the 10% more execution damage that I really like.
Yep, it's super, super good for like Fizz.
Vigar.
Yeah, Vigar, obviously really. I mean, anyone with an execute is really going to like this. So okay, I mean that tree's pretty interesting. Let's move on now to Sorcery since you spoiled that for me. Sorcery is about empowered abilities and resource manipulation. Okay. Summon Aerie? Oh, my eyesight is like really going. Your attacks and abilities send Aerie? Arai?
I don't know.
I don't know how to say that. Why would they choose
I said Aerie.
Like Aerie? Okay, well, let's go with Aerie. Alright, to a target. Damaging enemies or shielding allies. So it's basically like Pix, except this guy's probably cooler. Damage 26 based on level plus 0.10 AP or and 0.10 bonus AD. So actually it does have a dual scaling. That's interesting. Shield 30 to 80 based on level, 0.25 AP and 0.4 bonus AD. Come back, Aerie cannot be sent out again until she returns to you. I mean, what's the cooldown?
I was told by someone in my chat that it takes 2 seconds, depending on how far away you are, for Aerie to come back to you. Then it goes on cooldown.
So it's a permanent Pix for... Okay, then it goes on cooldown. For how long?
I don't know. I'd imagine something like 10 to 30 seconds.
Okay, if it's
any
like
less
permanent...
than 10, and it would be the most busted mastery in the game.
Yes, that would definitely be too busted, to be completely honest. Okay. I mean, this speaks to me. It says Teemo.
I thought Lulu.
Lulu too.
Lulu
obviously.
It lasts for 4 seconds on an enemy champion.
Aerie can have a kid. So, I mean, maybe that kid is Lulu. Who knows? Like, alright, let's move on. Arcane Comment. Damage a champion with an ability hurls a comet at their location. Or if an Arcane Comment is on cooldown, reduces its remaining cooldown. What? Adaptive damage 30 to 100 based on level plus 0.2 AP and 0.35 bonus AD. Okay. Cooldown 20 to 8 seconds scaling. Cooldown reduction, single target, 20% area of effect, 10% damage over time, 5%.
I already analyzed this frame by frame. You have to have 200 MS or less, including a snare or any sort of movement stopper, and it will guarantee proc. If you have any more than 200 and that target just casually walks in one direction, it will miss.
Wait, we're talking about Arcane Comment?
Yes.
Oh, you mean the comet that's being hurled at them?
It's like a Ziggs Q.
Oh, that's ugly. Does it stop at the first minion hit? Or like anything?
It does splash damage. It's like a Thunderlord.
Oh, it's AoE. Okay. Still, it just feels really gimmicky, though.
It's my first thought was Rise. Walks up, press W, guarantees comment.
Walks up, presses W. Oh, well, okay, I guess, yeah, because you're snared. I mean, anyone that's going to have a snare or a root is obviously going to benefit from that. Obviously, the cooldown reduction. Maybe it makes Rise feel like how he used to be, you know, before he was bad. Not bad, but before he was changed.
Mm-hmm.
I
do like the cooldown.
Yeah, I like the cooldown.
Very low.
Single target. His abilities count as single target, right? So, I mean, that makes it almost like it's spammable. So I really like that. When we're thinking about Rise, makes them vulnerable. I mean, okay, basic attacks, no. Electrocute. I mean, Rise obviously benefits from the Thunderlords too, but other than that, he doesn't benefit anything from Resolve. So this is definitely looking like it is indeed a Rise keystone, and I think that's okay. Alright, so let's do Phase Rush. Hitting an enemy champion with 3 attacks or separate abilities within 3 seconds, 15 to 40% movement speed based on level. No?
Yeah.
Just no? That's just like, no.
It's a weak Storm Raiders.
Yes. That is indeed a although, I mean,
if Irelia ever procs it, she will then be immune to slows.
So, like, remember, a lot of people scoffed at Storm Raiders when it first came out.
I don't know. I liked it.
Did you? You liked it at the very beginning?
Yeah.
Okay.
There just wasn't many times you could utilize it.
Cooldown is 15 seconds. Duration is 3 seconds. Additionally, melee champions... Oh, it's only melee gains 75% slow resistance. Alright, that's kind of... that's sort of a Field Basman moment, but... 40%... I mean, Jace gets the 75% slow resistance. But, I mean, there's already other keystones that definitely Jace would want, so I don't even
Jace's Q already slows.
No, I mean the slow resistance.
I know, but at that point, if you just match
Jace takes Storm Raiders.
Jace is already...
Jace takes Storm Raiders in some matchups.
If he just presses Q with Arcane Comment, it's guaranteed to land.
Jace takes Storm Raiders in some matchups. Oh, you mean you're talking about if... Alright, you're talking about this Jace. Like the new runes. You're not talking about current Jace.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright,
I think current Jace with Thunderlords is lackluster.
Yeah, it's either you go Fervor or you go Storm Raider. Thunderlords is okay for full lethality Jace if the enemy team comp has tons and tons of squishies, but I don't know. But anyways, moving on to Artifact, Nullifying Orb. When you take damage that would reduce your health below 30%, gain a shield that absorbs 40 to 120 magic damage based on level plus 0.10 of AP, 0.15 bonus AD for 4 seconds. The cooldown's too heavy.
Yep, it's just a weaker Hex Drinker.
Yep, that's a really bad mini keystone. Mana flow band. Every 60 seconds, your next ability used has its mana or energy cost refunded and restores 8% of your missing mana or energy. I mean, that's a really big cooldown yet again.
The only time I ever... the only champion I thought that could make use of it was someone that already has built-in some sort of restoration, either through tier or like Xerath's auto-attack passive if anyone plays him.
So, I mean, if you're going into the sorcery tree and you're locked into it, it looks like we're going to have to choose one of the 3, so it's going to come down to a pick your poison.
Yeah.
Your ultimate's cooldown is reduced by 5%. Each time you cast your ultimate, its cooldown is further reduced by 2%, stacks up to 5 times.
This stacks additively with cooldown reduction. So you can get 55% cooldown reduction on your ultimate. That's
really, really big.
Yep. It's a karma orgasm.
Yeah.
Enable every mantra.
What do you? Wow, and then it's permanent. Oh, that's really gross. Wait a minute. What about Jace? And I mean, that probably doesn't matter that much.
Lux goes down to 26-second cooldown by default.
Lux is really big.
Lux will get down to like 20-second cooldown on our ultimate.
Syndra? Ornn. Ornn's ultimate, by the way, at 40% CDR. I mean, that thing's up twice in a team fight.
I hate his ultimate.
It's up twice in a team fight. Calm down.
It's too good.
I know it is. It's like the only thing that's saving him right now.
I know.
It's the only thing that's saving him. Ever since they fixed... Yes. Ever since they fixed his lockout on it. Each time... Okay. So, the other thing, Twitch chat's actually pointing this out, is Teemo. But this isn't enough to make Teemo good again. Teemo has way too many other problems that don't have to do with Runes and Masters.
It's not fixing his main issue, but it is establishing more dominance through the opposing jungle.
Yes. He gets really, really nice CDR. I mean, it definitely helps him. This is obviously...
And at that point, it's opening up to mana problems if you're going to go that ultimate-oriented.
I think at that point, if you're gonna go ultimate centric Teemo, you actually don't go the on-hit Teemo. You go the AP Teemo with CDR and Morello and stuff.
Mashers Namacon.
Morello Namacon Mashers. What?
Yeah.
Your ultimate cooldown is... I mean, Twitch or Sheep in Twitch chat is actually saying Blitzcrank for this. I think that's completely fine. See,
his ultimate's already a 30-second cooldown.
Yeah, I know, but still, just keep getting it lower. I don't know, man. What about Dankplank? Dankplank for this. Yeah. But I mean, see, that's sort of just a luxury at that point. When you start talking about stuff like that, that's just like something that like lower MMR players, they can't play around. You know? Like, if you need an extra 10 seconds off of a Gangplank ultimate late game, then I think that you have bigger problems. Or something like that.
I think it's something along the lines of...
It might be more
using Gangplank's ultimate to benefit from with the CDR to set up more dragons. Or more objective control. Setting up a slow push.
Mm-hmm.
That's something you'll never see in even Diamond and lower.
So, okay. Let's move on to Excellence. Alright, so Transcendence. Gain 10% CDR when you reach level 10. Interesting. Each percent of CDR exceeding the CDR limit is converted to an additive bonus of 1.2 attack damage or 2% ability power.
Did the math on this. If you get 10% CDR, you will gain essentially a longsword or an amplifying tomb in value. It is a 1-to-1 conversion. 1% CDR equals 1 actual stat point of AD or AP, which is, well, not stat point, but 1 gold value per point. Really, really, really efficient.
Okay. And what about Celerity? Gain 4% increased movement speed and add 8% of your bonus movement speed to your AP or AD adaptive.
Don't ever expect to get even 10 attack damage or AP unless you are playing someone like Hecarim or Rammus.
8% of your bonus... Oh, yeah, okay. I mean, wait a minute. Add 8% of your bonus... What if you're sped up by Zillion? Like, you just get a permanent attack steroid.
Well, then you have to take into consideration that the soft and hardish caps for movement speed. If you have 415 or higher movement speed, it is reduced, well, whatever movement modifier is reduced by 20%. If you get up to 490, it's reduced by half, which well reduces the efficiency of this.
How long? Okay, so this is a permanent, doesn't seem to have a cooldown or something. Let's say that you have a Zillion on your team and with a Lulu support or something, and they both speed up Caitlyn. Or not like Caitlyn, Kog'Maw, I mean Twitch, you know, anything like that. They both speed up Twitch at the same exact scenario time. Yeah, what's the best case scenario?
Even if Twitch gets 1,000 movement speed, which is a lot, 54 AD.
I mean, that's pretty big for the duration. That's not something that Scott. I mean, yeah, it's not that great. But I mean, like, let's look at the other
on Twitch, it would be pretty good because he's going to be heavily crit, at least 80% crit chance with Hurricane. He's
right.
It's going to hit pretty hard. But it's afterwards, you have to set it up. It's more like, you know, your group flex queue, because I don't think this would ever be worked around in a competitive game.
Okay.
Where people strictly rely on
No, right. This would be a competitive mini keystone for sure. Absolute focus, while above 70% health, gain an adaptive bonus of up to 24 attack damage or 40 ability power based on level. That's kind of nuts.
It's basically 10 times a better version of Celerity.
That's yeah, as long as you're staying healthy. So this actually reminds me of that other keystone. Where was it? It was in like Resolve, right? It's this thing, Resistance, like this. It's the same thing. Like, why would you get Mirror Iron Skin when this exists? That's basically the same feeling that I'm getting from this. Okay, so looks like Transcendence and Absolute Focus probably then are just the only two. Maybe there's
something I really
like
like as a jungler.
What? Absolute Focus?
A lot of your AD and AP is stripped through runes. This helps you a lot with your clears.
So I'm wondering though, do you just start with 6 attack damage and then it scales up to 24? That's what I'm assuming. This obviously really helps with the clears and stuff. So, or 40 ability power. So it is, it is adaptive. But obviously
it starts at 3 and it gains 1 per level.
Yep. Okay.
That's for the AD. It starts at 5 AP and goes up 2 per level. Okay.
I mean, that's super, super sick. So, obviously,
3 AD as a jungle is huge.
This is obviously good on junglers. It's good on protect the Kog'Maw, protect the Twitch, etc. Not etc. What? Etc. type team compositions. But the problem is if like Kog'Maw or Twitch are coming into this tree, like really, what are they getting? You know, they're not using Ultimate Hat. They're not using Mana Flow. They're not using Nullifying Orb. So I mean, that's just one branch that they're not touching. So like, you're looking at this as a very niche thing on very specific champions. Probably more so just inside of the jungle, right? Jungle and top lane.
Yeah, it would have to be a jungler.
Yep.
I don't think Riot doesn't like to give away free stats to laners anymore.
Yep.
You could see that in a lot of these pages.
Oh baby, Samsung Galaxy's getting buffed with that Gathering Storm, but we're gonna get to that last. Scorch. Your next ability hit sets champions on fire, dealing 30 to 60 bonus magic damage on level after 1 second. Cooldown 20 seconds. That's just like a little sting? I mean, wait, hold on. Based on level. So, okay, I'm going to assume that it starts at 12. But even still, that's pretty obnoxious, considering some of the other masteries and keystone, or the other little things that exist.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of base damage.
Yeah, that's
considering
really
that the Thunderlord's Electrocute is 50 and it's a 50-second cooldown. This is 30 on a 20-second cooldown.
Okay.
Both of which are magic damage.
Yeah, that's an interesting little incentive. Water walking, gain 25 movement speed and an adaptive bonus of up to 18 attack damage to 35 ability power when in the river. I mean, that's actually not that bad, but let's take a look at Gathering Storm. Scaling, every 10 minutes gain ability power or attack damage adaptive. 8 AP, 24, so 8 to 168 AP, realistically 8 to 80, right, in most games. 5 to 48. So you're looking at a needlessly large rod plus an amp tome, or you're looking at essentially a BF sword. So that's just bonkers.
If you're diamond or lower, take this mastery.
Yeah, if you're diamond or lower, then you always take this mastery. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't think that you actually take Water Walking over Gathering Storm. Even the 20, unless you're a jungler, I don't think that you get it. Like, the tier 1 boots are not going to matter that much to a lot of champions. So, like, I think that there's, at 20 minutes, you're already surpassing, or you're coming up on surpassing Water Walking. Like, Gathering Storm just seems way too strong.
I think you would take Water Walking on someone that's, I don't know, if you want to cheese a dragon. That's a lot of damage for a dragon cheese.
Like super early on, you mean? That's a solo queue gimmick.
I know.
That's not a you know. You talking about solo queue gimmicks? You just told everyone diamond and below to take Gathering Storm. You know what? Reddit's gonna hear this video, by the way.
Good point.
You're trapped. Okay. So you're backpedaling. All right. You're donezo, dude. They do this to me all the time. All right. You're screwed. Okay.
It's okay. Statistically, you can safely assume anyone who comments on anything is 90% of the time going to be very low elo.
You're being too generous. 90%. You're being way too generous.
Diamond and lower.
All right. Let's. You've inspired me though, so let's go into the inspiration for. Outwit mere mortals. Inspiration is about using creative tools and bending some rules. Okay. Inspiration plus. Ooh. Oh. Wait, are all of these any path? So Inspiration's the only... Okay. And it doesn't work like... It's not Domination plus Inspiration, right? This has to be the primary keystone?
Yes. Okay. It has to be Inspiration as a primary, and then secondary affects what you get afterwards.
See, I wish that they did more stuff with this. Maybe this is something that they would experiment with more in the future. But I no matter what, I love these runes and the direction that Riot's going. So...
it's very playstyle oriented.
Yes. I like it a lot. But obviously, I mean, we're talking about being playstyle oriented. They're going to be solved. You know, just like masteries and stuff or whatever. Like, they can give you the whole spiel about, oh yeah, you know, we want to give people a way to play to their playstyle. No. Yep. There is going to be an objectively just, you should take this on this champion. You know, and
at the end of the day, it's if you take the best computer programmed champion versus another best computer programmed champion, it'll always come out whichever one has the stronger rune setup.
Yeah, yes. So thought processes like that have to, you know, be kept in mind, but obviously it's catering to a much more casual audience. It's going to let them feel, you know, more hands-on and stuff. They can play their D&D while they play the game. But okay, let's move into this. So Inspiration plus Resolve, 20% potion and elixir duration plus 145 health. So now that gives you like 300 health, right? Combined almost with the Resolve tree passive. Inspiration plus Domination, 20% potion and elixir duration plus 16 AD or 27 ability power. That's really good. Inspiration plus Sorcery. So the potion of elixirs, I'm just going to stop saying that. Gives the same thing as Domination. And then Inspiration plus Precision, 20% attack speed. So you end up getting 40% attack speed for free if you have Inspiration plus Precision. I mean, that's
38%.
Actually 30. Well, yeah, but basically 40. Okay, so I mean that's these are all nice little added benefits. But let's actually see if the main primary keystones are worth taking over some of the stuff above. Okay, Unsealed Spellbook. Gain a Summoner Shard at 2 minutes and another every 6 minutes after. Max 2 shards. While near the shop, you can exchange one Summoner Shard to replace a Summoner spell with a different one. You're a wizard. Summoner spell cooldowns are reduced by 25%. Buying a Smite won't grant access to Smite items. You'll have to start with Smite. You cannot have two of the same Summoner spell.
What I was thinking is specifically on red side, since Krugs are so delayed on a spawn. Red side has Gromp spawn relatively, well, 10 seconds prior. A support that can take Smite will be able to swap it out by 8 minutes. Someone that wants to play Protect the Kog'Maw, like maybe a Braum or Lulu, Karma, someone that can like ensure that 80 carry can get out 8 minutes. Swap out the spell that can either give the 80 carry instant level 2 through Smiting Gromp. The heal will make it so any damage you take from the Gromp is negligible. Or you could go for an early level 2 as support.
Yeah, so I really like what you're bringing up. That's my immediate thought, that, you know, you have a support, they start with Smite. So they start with Smite, and then they leash a camp for their ADC and stuff, and as you pointed out, red side, it's going to definitely be a lot better, primarily just because of that Gromp. So they start with the Smite, they give the gold to the ADC, they get the Shard, but they have to wait to recall in order to get the Shard, in order to use the Shard. I'm wondering if there would be something like Super Giga Ghetto, where you start with Teleport and you start with Teleport Smite, and then I
wondered if you could, like, as you're channeling TP, if you can pick up your
Shard. No, you can't. You can't. In the video thing that I was watching, it didn't seem like you could do that. Okay. Or I mean, I could be wrong. That's entirely plausible. But I'm really wondering: do you take Smite Teleport, leash the camp for your ADC or something, give it to the ADC, go into the lane, give your Targons off or whatever, you know, do whatever it is that you need to do, recall. Right? Swap out the Smite or something for Flash, and then teleport back to the lane, and then you're just on cooldown.
They did reduce Gromp initial XP by half, but the Smite user still gains the full effect. So it's still 100 XP for the AD carry, or it's 200 for the support, or 180, something like that.
You would take it for the support, so the support gets the gold. They come into the lane, you know, they get their spell.
Karma level 2 means the AD carry doesn't need to be level 2.
Yeah, that's true. So there's definitely some there's definitely gonna be some really interesting things for support here. The thing is I can't see a jungler tanking this unless it's some ghetto ass super troll jungler like Ivern. Yes. If it's a super trolly jungler like Ivern, he can actually use Unsealed Spellbook, because Ivern, like, he doesn't want a
doesn't want smite.
He doesn't want smite
jungle item.
Well, I mean, he wants the smite through the early and mid game, but he wants to sell the smite. He doesn't want to keep it.
You'd have to have some sort of execution damage. It would have to be a Callista. You would have to have Callista in order to secure objectives, or you're coin flipping a lot of them.
Without smite? Or you just never go for the objectives. Think about it.
What if it's 3 fires?
Well, I think Ivern would keep his smite up until that point. I'm talking about a way for Ivern, when he gets to 4 or 5 items, to swap out of that smite. Because that's the point where you want to take it off Ivern. You know? And I mean, as we saw from SK Telecom, you know, in that game, they're not even interested in taking the free Baron. I mean, they just want to coin flip a team fight, so they didn't even need smite there. You know, maybe if they had an extra summoner spell, then something could have gone a little bit different. But this definitely looks like an Ivern thing to me. Nunu could use this because he already has his consume.
Who plays him still?
I don't know. People that don't have hands, mechanics, Saint. Okay, so. I mean, yeah, so
to count jungle camps then.
Don't have to. Hey, my man. All right, so
majority of the time you're going to be in the enemy jungle anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Process of elimination. You know what camps are up already.
Yeah. So Unsealed Spellbook looks like it's for the super unique junglers, and then obviously supports. Unsealed Spellbook is also for the super big trolls that are trying to pick. They're trying to pick Cleanse Ghost.
There's going to be a lot of edgy players taking this.
they're going to take Cleanse Ghost to conceal their OPGGs when they donate to me. And I'll be like, huh, what happened to this game? You know, as they have Flash Heal, or they have, like, Flash Teleport or something on Nunu. I'm like, huh, this looks a little bit interesting. Like, Unsealed Spellbook to conceal it. Oh, my God. They're going to get really
I would like
creative.
to see some people go disco summoners at the end of the game. Just recall 10 seconds before the base is blown up.
Oh,
and then just go disco.
That is something that people are going to have to do. But alright, this is pretty cool. That'll obviously be the ultimate insult to injury on Nunu. As if you have Unsealed Spellbook, you just go Cleanse Ghost. Cleanse Ghost is the Nexus is about to explode. Alright. Okay, so Glacial Augmentation. Basic attacking a champ slows them for 2 seconds. The slow increases strength over its duration. Range attack slows by up to 20 to 40%. Super chill and melee attack slow by 40 to 50%. Slowing a champion with active items shoots a freeze ray through them, freezing the nearby target ground for 5 seconds and slow.
It's just an Ashe passive.
Yeah, that doesn't seem good enough, to be honest.
Kind of devalues the purpose of having Ashe in your team now.
I mean, it just seems like a really silly keystone, to be complete. Yep. Chip slows them for 2 seconds, a slow increase. I mean, Tom Kench, you can't escape him, right?
Tom's Q doesn't slow by duration anyway, does it?
No. Well, that's what I'm basically.
So when you walk up, you're guaranteed to secure it.
Yeah, if you have Glacial Augment. But I mean, you're not looking like. See, this is like a gimmicky thing that like a lower MMR player is gonna be like, oh man, I'm really gonna help out my Tom Kench. You know, like the people that put in random cards into a Hearthstone or Magic deck because it lets them feel more like attached to the deck. No, look. Let's just be honest, okay? You're going Resolve Tree on Tom Kench. So, I mean, you know, that just seems like something really gimmicky. Kleptomancy.
After being okay on like Nami, you walk up, auto attack one time, put the E on the 80 carry, then you're guaranteed a bubble through the slow duration.
How about you just get good and then maybe you're guaranteed a bubble? You know, how about that? You know?
I don't like to coin flip my skill shots. I would rather guarantee it.
Oh, okay. All right, great. All right, Kleptomancy. After using an ability, your next attack on a champion grants a bonus gold. There's a chance you'll also gain a consumable.
This works on Ezreal's Q. You can get unlimited mana, essentially. They bring back mana pots for this.
Okay, mana pots is a luxury. You know, it's not something that you actually need. That's really cool, though, that you can have it. That would make me nostalgic. You know what I mean? To have a mana pot. I don't even know if mana pots were in the game when I started.
You started in what, like season 4?
Season 4. I came in late. I'm a late bloomer.
I don't know. I played since season 1.
Jesus.
Day 1, season 1.
So, what about... Now, see, Twitch chat spamming Dankplank, but... I mean, what's the cooldown on Kleptomancy, number 1? And then number 2, do you really want Dankplank to have that instead of...
that means you're using your Q on a champion instead of barrels for the bonus gold.
Yeah, but that's fine. That's how you're supposed to play Gangplank anyway. We're not arguing about this. Have you ever watched Monkey? No, we're not. We're not talking about this right now. Okay, and you've probably watched a little bit too much.
He doesn't play anymore, does he?
Yeah, he still does. I don't think that he seems to care as much, but like the way he would play Gangplank is he would go Bandit with Corrupting Pot, and he would not use Q on minions or barrels.
They removed Bandit. It's built into the support item now.
Stop. We're gonna talk about that. But anyways. I can't see why like you would go Kleptomancy over like Kleptomancy just seems like a luxury. So depending on what the cooldown is, it's a 1.5. There's no cooldown.
There's no cooldown.
What is the chance of getting a consumable?
I want to test that out. I'm still patching. It was 2.5 gig on PB. But I want to stand in front of a one of the dummies and see what the actual chances per.
33%. That seems kind of obnoxious.
No. 33% with an additional chance of getting something else, or 33% of a guaranteed item or guaranteed consumable.
You can sell the consumables?
I'm sure it's going to vary.
Wait a minute. You can sell the consumables this thing gives you?
It would be 17 gold then. That's how much you get for selling a pot, I think.
No, you get 20 gold for a pot. 20 gold. That is so big, actually, then, if that's Dankplank. He can actually go Bankplank again. Do you remember Bankplank?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching Bankplank.
You never even got to see it back when it was like Philosopher's Stone, Heart of Gold, Gangplank.
You can sell the consumables for 40 each. That is an obnoxious ramp on Dankplank. But it says after using an ability,
I'm looking at it now. 14 gold for the mana pot, 20 gold for the health pot. You even get a stack of gold. A sack of gold for 65 gold you can sell. You can sell the ward for 30. Potion of Rouge, 40 gold. Basically, everything is around 20 to 40.
Okay, I mean that's really big on a Gangplank. How many times can he bandit, or how many times can he parlay?
10 seconds. After using an ability, your next basic attack within 10 seconds has 25 bonus range.
6 Kleptomancies a minute. So that's a really, in some matchups I can see that being obnoxious. Like, I don't know what you're supposed to do against him if he just keeps getting mana pots, or I mean, he's gonna still have Corrupting Potion. But can you have Corrupting Pot and mana pots?
No Corrupting Pot.
What do you mean?
Mana pot, health pot. 1, 2, 3, 4.
No.
5,
I mean,
6.
can you own a Corrupting Pot and then get health pots and mana pots?
I think so. Yeah. You have a 1 in 13 chance of getting an item. Well, a specific item you want. There's even items that give you, the old red pot. 11 to 28 AD or AP for 45 seconds.
This is so stupid then. Okay, so we were, I was making fun of people for suggesting Gangplank, but like the reality of the situation is that actually might be a Gangplank master in some matchups. When he's in a matchup where the opponent just can't do anything to him, like Gangplank versus Tom or something, or like Gangplank versus Shen, you know what I mean? They just have to bend over and take it.
You even get an item called Elixir of Skill that gives you a skill point.
Sona no cooldown? Why is my chat spamming Sona no cooldown?
I don't know.
What does that even mean?
I mean, the Keystone has a cooldown.
They say that the Keystone has a Sheen cooldown. So that's, what, 1.5 seconds? That's
it doesn't even look like there's a cooldown. It just gives you a 10-second duration, and what most likely happens is
2-second cooldown.
It's a refresh duration.
So if it's a 2-second cooldown, this is disgusting. This is so disgusting.
You would take this on Ezreal every time. Oh, there's even another item a biscuit that restores 15% of your HP and mana over 15 seconds.
Think about this. Let me hit you with an Ezreal suggestion. Glacial Augment, right? We made fun of it before. You get Blue Ezreal and Trinity Force Ezreal. Think about it.
Yeah, I already know. Triforce Cleaver.
Alright, cool. Alright, great.
With Ezreal's base damage being amplified on his Q.
Good.
In that last patch.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Thanks. Alright, thanks. Thanks, Saiph. I appreciate it. Thanks.
This is the best idea.
Alright, no cooldown Sona. So, Sona can make the most use out of Kleptomancy, probably of any other support. I mean, Soraka can too. You know? Oh, wait a minute. Basic attacking a champion slows them for 2... Oh, Soraka can hit them with an auto and then guarantee yourself the Q.
She already does if she hits you with an auto.
She already does if you have hands.
We're in NA. We don't have that luxury.
Alright. Apparently Aerie has no cooldown. How is that fair? How is that fair? So Teemo just like bends you over the couch. Hello?
I'm Googling. I'm looking for it.
Lulu top, Lulu mid. Teemo. Takes about 4 seconds to return to you. I mean, that's completely fine, though. I mean, this also looks like it's really, really obnoxious if you're Gangplank. Because now your parlay is just hit for extra damage. That doesn't seem very fair. Pantheon. No, Pantheon's always going the whatchamacallit. Pantheon's always going Electrocute. Pantheon's always going Electrocute.
Lingers on the target for 2 seconds before flying back to you. Cannot be sent out until she returns to you.
Yeah.
Initially very slow, gradually accelerates, and can be picked up by moving near her.
Yeah.
So it really depends on where the pickup range is and what opportunities you're exposing yourself to. Through like counter engage or anything like that. Yeah, this is busted then.
Yeah.
I'd imagine 4 seconds is the maximum cooldown you will ever experience with it.
So some of these keystones are actually really interesting, and it definitely seems very thin on like what keystone goes on what champion. So it's probably going to take a lot of theory crafting and stuff. You know, to really get to the point where, like, it's obvious that there are certain champions that have keystones that they can go, but there's obvious just better ones for, like, high-level play. You know? Like, Jace comes to mind immediately. Jace comes to mind as a champion that had, like, 4 keystones throughout his playtime, right? He had Fervor, he had Warlords, he had Thunderlords,
even Tahm Kench, I think, has several. Tahm
Kench originally had Thunderlords. He can have Storm Raiders versus Echo and Gangplank up in top lane, Grasp of the Undying, Bond of Stone, and Cards of the... Yeah, he had multiple. He had so many keystones, you know? So, okay.
With Grasp being buffed too, and Tahm Kench's passive being buffed a few patches ago, I think he's going to be really scary now.
Well, I mean, he'll be scary as a solo duelist and in the one-on-one, but the problem is that you get, like, diminishing returns on Tahm the longer the game goes on. It sort of ends up feeling like Urgot. But, like, with some of these changes to keystones and stuff, maybe it can actually help propel him back into being worthwhile allocating gold to him. Because that was just one of the big problems, is, like, allocating gold to
If he can achieve movement speed, I think he'd be... I think if he was just faster, he would have a lot more impact.
Yeah. I think he probably does actually need some MS buff. But, okay, let's actually get into the mini keystones here. Hextech, Flash, Traption. Don't threaten me with a good time. While Flash is on cooldown, it is replaced by Hex Flash. Channel for 2 seconds to blink to a new location. Cooldown 20 seconds. Goes on a 10-second cooldown when you enter champion combat.
Fiddle, yes. Kha'Zix, maybe. Auric, maybe. But I think this whole mastery or ruin relies on patience.
This relies on patience, but it helps out all the junglers without terrain scaling.
But they have to use their flash. Which means they would have to initiate with a flash.
Yeah, so that they go for an all-in. Yeah, that's true.
They would have to trade a flash, but then they would have to re-gank that same lane because, like, they can, you know, obviously flash over a wall and get into a good position.
Yeah, yeah. One champion that comes to mind for this is Shaco. It lets him be a little bit more flexible and tricky with his deceive. You know, when his flash is on cooldown.
Speaking of Shaco, have you ever watched that Korean Shaco guy?
Which one?
The best one? No, like, I think he's the only one in Challenger.
Oh, the current one that's still high? No, I've never watched him.
He does a lot of weird stuff that I never seen any NA Shaco do. I think he's probably
check out watching him. Probably check out. Is he only Shaco?
He tries to, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So let's talk about Biscuit Delivery. Gain a total biscuit of Everlasting Will every 3 minutes until 12 minutes. Biscuits restore 15% of your missing health and mana. Consume no, that's just a luxury. Champions without any mana restore 20% missing health instead. That just seems bad.
But I think it would only be good on a tier user.
Yes. Perfect timing. Start the game with commencing stopwatch that transforms into a stopwatch after 6 minutes. Stopwatch has a one-time use stasis effect. Transforms into a stopwatch. Reduces the cooldown of Zanya's Hourglass, Guardian Angel, and Gargoyle Stone Plate by 15%. That it just seems like a luxury. So the only thing from contraption, because this does look like a terrible contraption for a tree, that's going to be valuable is Biscuit Delivery on tier users and sustain users, like you're saying, like people that like Catalyst of Aeons and like taking consistent extended sustain trades. Perfect timing just seems bad, and then obviously Hextech Flash Traption if you know tomorrow and beyond.
The only thing I could think you would ever want to take perfect timing for is if you're new into like a Zed matchup or something like that, and you just want to be extremely safe and cook his ultimate. That's about it. But this does build into Hourglass, and the item itself is 600 gold value. Like, it costs 600 gold, so it does essentially reduce the cost for you to build into Hourglass at the start of the game. It's just, I think it's only enabling you to counter a little bit of, you know, Zed or like Talon.
It's such a super gimmicky. It's such a super gimmicky thing.
It's easy to play around.
Yes, it's very easy to play around. All right, let's see what tomorrow has in store for us. All right, magical footwear. You get free slightly magical boots at 10 minutes, but you cannot buy boots before then. Cassiopeia gets it for free. So for each takedown, you acquire the boots 30 seconds sooner. Okay. Slightly magical boots give you an additional 10%. Oh, you have to buy these. You get free.
10 flat, not 10%.
Yeah, 10 flat. 10 flat movement speed and upgrade for 50. Oh, okay. Okay, well, I mean...
it's shitty.
Yeah, it's bad. Alright, futures market. You can enter debt and to buy items. The amount you borrow increases over time. Lending fee 50 gold. Debt limit 150 plus 5 per limit. Debt doesn't become available until 2 minutes. How much debt can you enter into?
5 per minute.
Right, but you can't
keeps going.
You can't just buy death cap.
Yeah, if the game goes long enough.
No. I mean, oh, they only lend you 50 gold.
No, it's the cost of it.
Yeah, okay, but what I mean is it says debt doesn't become available in 2 minutes. You can't start the game with a death cap.
Well, it's a 150 is the debt limit.
Oh, debt. Then... Oh my god. I'm reading the debt limit thing is like you have to pay back 150 plus 5 per minute. Okay, I'm sorry. Debt limit is 150. So the first thing that comes to mind is
pink wards.
Pink ward, yeah, pink wards comes in, or control wards. This just does, I mean, it does do something for Victor. It really does.
Do you think this would enable a corruption pop?
On Victor?
because his shield has been reduced in the past, which is what generally gave him a lot of advantageous trades. Like from then on, he never really had the mana issue. He had the
the sustaining in the lane. Issue. Yeah, sustaining in the lane. But I mean, Doran's gives him such trade potential outright as it is. I mean, he could probably go Corrupting Potion, and then it doesn't change the fact that Victor sucks for other reasons. You know what I mean? Like he has other problems that is not this.
It feels like Corki. When you're playing Corki and you're going against like Syndra, you're forced to go Hex Drinker, which just feels like ass.
Well, if you go Corki, so one of the things I would be interested in figuring out, right, is can you coordinate a recall where Corki's at 1100 gold, and that's going to be the recall where Syndra's looking for Lost Chapter recall plus potions and a control ward, and then you come back to the lane with Hex Drinker versus Lost Chapter. Like that's big. Like in a very specific matchup. Like you can just one up.
Yeah, you could match someone's buy.
Yeah, you can. Well, you can one up their buy. Like you can have an item that they intentionally. So for Twitch chat at the highest levels of play, basically, what you can actually do is you can intentionally calculate when you're going to take certain trades, and you can read the CS and lane. I know caveman stuff. Calm down. And you can figure out, like, okay, this person can't recall and get Phage. If we both recall right now, he's forced to get Stinger or he's forced to get Sheen, right? But you can't manipulate that anymore if the person has Futures Market. 530 gold tier doesn't actually matter if they just play the lane right anyway. So, yeah. Okay, someone's linking like Lulu with Aerie in Twitch chat. I don't want to open that up right now. I just want to get done with this first. Especially
I'll look at it later.
This isn't the detailed breakdown as it is. Minion Dematerializer. Start the game with 6 Minion Dematerializers that kill and absorb lane minions instantly. How many? All 6? Minion Dematerializers are on cooldown for the first 155 seconds of the game. Absorbing a minion increases your damage by 4% against that type of minion permanently. I'm going to assume that it's 1, plus an additional 1%. So this obviously helps wave clearers. That's all this is. Okay. So it's pretty simple.
I like this because, like the Galio, the Maokai's, the ones that lost a lot of their wave, not wave control, but wave clear through their base AP scaling, having those extra percents is going to, it might be the make or break reason as to why you can arrive to a team fight 5 seconds prior, or 5 seconds sooner.
Someone in Twitch chat's actually telling me that Kleptomancy can give Minion Dematerializer.
Yes, it does.
I don't want to talk about it. All right, let's go. Beyond Cosmic Insight, 5% cooldown reduction. Wait, what? So
it's 5% to everything.
5% cooldown reduction, 5% maximum cooldown reduction. So if you combine this with other stuff, you get how much?
If you have Twitch's ultimate's 100-second cooldown. It'll be 95-second cooldown, plus then 5% cooldown of the 95%, so on and so forth.
So wait a minute, 5% maximum cooldown reduction. So I want to know, I want someone to go into Sandbox and break this, and I want Vygar to have 100% CDR on his W plus 5% maximum. So what happens? I want you to explain that to me, Saiph. How can you have 105% cooldown?
Well, the game will still not let you break it. It'll still limit you because it's on a max value of 40 or 45%. I don't know if they kept that mastery stuff.
I assume that this means that it maxes out whatever would be your max. No?
Maximum cooldown. So yeah, it would be 45%.
It would normally be 45%, but Vygar can go up to 100%. Oh, unless you mean that it just one-time flatlines at 45 and then Vygar's W stacks.
This would give you a 60% cooldown on your ultimate.
No, it's not. All right, maybe something's not working in my brain, by the way. But okay, stats: 5% cooldown reduction, 5% item cool. This seems nice, you know what I mean? But like, what are the other ones? Hold on. Gain 10% movement speed towards nearby allied champions that are movement impaired or enemy champions that you impair. Okay, range 1,000 units, approach velocity. I mean, that's pretty big. The range is good. That looks like it could be good. You're a star, plus 100 permanent health. I like the typo in the official NA League of Legends thing.
I noticed that there's a lot of typos.
Okay. Deals 10% less damage to champions and monsters until the 10-minute mark. That's fine.
Only for tanks.
Yeah, it's only for tanks.
But again, a tank's not trying to do damage to a champion anyway.
Right.
So you're looking for what is it? 300.
I mean, that sounds like a
max HP.
That sounds like a deal, dude. Okay. I just want to let you know that. Sounds like a deal.
That's 10% less the damage, though.
Yeah, it does. It does indeed. All right.
I think you can achieve 310 max HP, not including a Doran shield now.
That's actually really good.
You might see tanks go in lane level 1 with 900 HP. Especially with the base and the growth stats.
No, you're right? Inspiration plus Resolve. They just start the game with an extra 300 HP. Tom Kench just starts the game hitting you with his passive for free. A new meme is born.
Oh, this also enables Warmogs.
The deal.
As a second item without needing Cinderhawk.
This is so gross. Oh god. All right.
Passive.
So, all right. That was basically the initial breakdown and rundown of all the keystones. I think some of them are very thin for like, does this champion want this or do they want that? Maybe it's going to be a toss-up, like certain matchups and stuff, certain team compositions. Some keystones and mini keystones or whatever, they are just outright terrible, right? Like Iron Scan, Mirror Scale, why do you take that over conditioning, right? You know, there's other stuff that I think there needs to be more explanation on, like Dark Harvest. Let's see, tracking. I mean, Ghost Puro is okay, but you know, it's only going to be on very selective champions. Like some of these keystones and mini masteries are super lackluster, and they definitely need tuning. It just doesn't really make sense. Water walking, super solo queuey type thing for taking dragons early, as you already mentioned. Other stuff just feels really bad. Like Glacial Augment actually feels bad unless it's going to be something like Ezreal. That's the only thing I can think of.
And there are a couple item changes. It's minuscule. But,
yeah.
The one I want to go over is just Poacher's Dirk.
Oh, I already went over that in the past 7.22 rundown.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, this is a different video. Huh?
Did you go over selling the Poacher's Dirk to upgrade it? And you make more gold out of it?
Oh no, I didn't go over that. I didn't look at it that way.
You actually make more money selling Poacher's Dirk when it upgrades to Serrated.
And then, okay.
Yeah, you can just buy whatever you want then.
Okay, that actually sounds really good. I'm gonna go back and look at that. But I mean, what's your conclusion on all the runes and mini? But masteries are gone, right?
Yeah, it's now masteries just keystone and runes.
Okay, that's it. Well, let's just call them runes for simplicity. So this is pretty much it. All right. So what is your first impression on all of this?
I think tanks are going to be overwhelming early game, and I think that was intended just so a tank would not fall extremely far behind. I think a lot of the hyper carries, the ones that scale off bonus AD, got the shaft in a lot of this. The most AD you will achieve now through bonus is, I believe, 18 at best. I think every AD champion that scales off total, through like Kalista or Gangplank, anyone that has a high base damage, like Darius, for example, is one of the highest base ADs in the game and will utilize Triforce better than any other champion.
Darius? Triforce
yeah.
Darius?
He has the highest base AD for Triforce now.
With the new wait, he's higher than Alawi and
because everyone gained, since runes no longer are a factor.
Yeah.
It is now, instead of that 8 bonus, it is now 8 base.
Yeah,
which means
I know that.
Triforce just gains 16 more damage. With Sterix also being buffed for 50% additional base, you're looking at 600-700 damage Triforce procs with Irelia or Darius.
141.
Irelia has 70 base AD now at level 1.
Okay, hold on a second here. 140. He's actually above Mordekaiser now, Darius?
Something like that. He's way up there.
145,
There's only a
146.
few of them that are reliable champions that you can play.
Okay.
And they're high up.
I mean, we're literally talking about an extra 8 damage, which, yes, you know, Trinity Force is definitely going to magnify it. That doesn't mean that you just build that item on that champion. There are definitely champions that don't have...
No, I'm just using that to elaborate on the point that the total AD users benefited more than the bonus AD users.
Oh, yes. Definitely.
Tanks are stronger, bruisers are stronger, hyper carries are slightly weaker, but the AP hyper carries are definitely stronger.
Yep.
The sorcery tree.
I think AD casters are benefited from a lot of these things. So, that's a nice little change. But anyways, okay, so we're going to conclude there. I'm going to obviously spend a lot of time off stream looking at all these runes and, you know, talking with more people on them and theory crafting them. I don't know when they hit the rift. When do these actually hit? Do they hit in January? Huh?
The 8th.
What?
These
2 days?
This patch? Yeah, the 8th.
I'm done. All right, that's